Your University of Delaware Fighting Blue Head.
From the Delaware Diamond on the campus of the University of Delaware in Newark, this is Blue Hens Softball on Hens All Access. Today, an intriguing non-conference matchup for the Red Hot Hens as they take on the Villanova Wildcats out of the Big East. Hi, everybody. I'm Matt Janis alongside our Hens All Access crew. We've got Aaron Paniscotti directing today, Daniel Chafin, Vivi O'Donnell, Becca Corcus, Rachel Whitehead, and Damian Holliday bringing you all the pictures. The Blue Hens are just on absolute fire. They have done a magnificent job on both ends of the field. They swept a weekend series where they did not allow a single run against A&T. That came on the wings of back-to-back shutouts against Delaware State, 5 in a row, equaling the longest streak in program history. Here's the starting lineup they will face today. Ava Mankin, the catcher, leads it off. Miranda Runco, DP, bats second. Ava Franz at shortstop hits third. Elena Wagner in right field bat cleanup. Maddie Behrens at first base hits fifth. Kelsey White in left field bats sixth. Grace Reed, third baseman, hits seventh. Maddie Burrows at second base bats eighth. And in ninth, it is the center fielder, Madison Ostrowski. That lineup will face Delaware right-hander Morgan Hess. Hess getting the ball after pitching fantastic back-to-back games that led to shutouts, and her first pitch just out of the zone for ball one. It is a bright, sunshiny evening in the first eight. It is windy, and gusting winds could be a big part of the storyline today. Everything in the air might be a little bit of an adventure. Mankin taking right down the heart. There's strike one from Hess. Morgan is making her 15th start of the season. 7-4 record. The ERA is all the way down to 2.65 now. She has gone the distance 5 times in her first 14 starts, and is pitching arguably the best she has all season long. Roller right side to her left to glove it, Katie Shivert, and a quick throw on to first, and one away in the top half of the opening inning. Going to bring up one of the most dangerous hitters in this Villanova lineup, Miranda Runco, the sophomore, who is amongst the team leaders in every power category and was the Pennsylvania State High School Player of the Year back in 2021. Lefty Slugger stands in against the right-hander who bounces one up there for ball one. Hess in 74 to third innings now with that first out recorded, has yielded 58 hits, 38 runs, 28 of them earned. Good strikeout to walk ratio, 55 punch-outs, 21 free passes, and the batting average against all the way down to 206. 1-0, tomahawk foul, and it's a ball and a strike to Runco. How good are those power numbers for Miranda? How about a 342 average to begin with? This is her 37th start of the season. She's got 12 home runs, 34 runs batted in. She also has 7 doubles. She is slugging .719. Might see her in the pitching circle today as well as she takes on the inside upper portion of the zone. Good pitch there from Hess, and it is 1-2. Hess getting the ball after she pitched in the back end of Saturday's doubleheader in the win against North Carolina A&T. And can't get Runco to chase. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Hess trying to set the program record for consecutive shutouts. They will have their hands full if they want to do it today, though, against this Villanova team. An excellent offense, and they just seem to be getting better as the year progresses. Villanova has hit 48 home runs so far this season. The 2-2 up and in with Carter on the back. That came out of Hess's hands a little funny, and immediately a tap on the chest as she talks things over with the catcher, Mary Beth Cahalan. And the first base runner of the game belongs to Villanova. So it's Runco at first. Here comes Ava Franz. Franz the shortstop, and one of the most consistent players in this Villanova lineup. She has scored 112 career runs and coming off a Big East Player of the Week award as she takes a strike on the outside corner. In fact, Villanova swept the Big East awards this week. Meanwhile, Delaware had the CAA Pitcher of the Week. So talking about 2 programs that are playing some of their best softball as we start to move towards the stretch drive of the season. Out in front of the off-speed pitch, and it's no balls and 2 strikes here to France. Dave has been a mainstay in the lineup over her 4 years at Villanova. Her 41st game so far this year, and she just gets a piece to stay alive at 0-2. Does not strike out a ton, only 18 punch-outs this year. Not bad considering she's a player that hits for power. She's got 10 homers and 21 extra base hits and has driven in 37 runs so far this year to go along with her 365 average. Upstairs, 1 ball and 2 strikes to France. This is a good matchup, really, for both of these teams. Not ideal time on the calendar for Villanova. With Easter this week, they are actually playing their conference series at Butler on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So they've got to fly out tomorrow to Indiana. Here's a roller left side, charging Blanche. Goes to second for 1. That's all they'll get, but they'll take the fielder's choice. Runco retired. France takes her spot at first. She actually has a little more speed. 2 outs and a runner at first. The batter will be Elena Wagner. Here's the defense behind Hess today. Soraya Galucci is at third. Chloe Blanche, the shortstop. Katie Shivert is at second base, with Grayson Frost getting the nod at first, and Marybeth Cahalan behind the plate. Lily Shivert in left. Veronica Diomede in center. Riley Thomas, the right fielder, as that one is in for a strike to Wagner. 0-1. Wagner, in her second year as a starter for Villanova, all she did in her debut season was earn second-team All-Big East honors. Kind of an old-school progression. Came, waited her turn, and has now found her role. 1 ball and 1 strike to Wagner. This season, the average just under 300 at 299. 29 hits in her 97 at-bats, couple of homers. She's got 9 doubles and 12 total extra base knocks. Stands right on top of the plate, right side. And Hess attacks the inside corner and gets a strike. It's 1-2. Daniel Abernathy Young calls the balls and strikes this evening. Wayne Elliott is our first base umpire. And Bob Center, normally at third base, but the runner at first stands behind second right now. 1-2. Line down the line and left, but hooks foul. And still a ball and 2 strikes as Wagner was out in front. Villanova up to 11-4 in Big East play. They've actually strung together a couple of solid weekends in conference. The Wildcats, the defending Big East champs, they will host the Big East championship in a few weeks. They have still yet to 100% nail down their spot. Here's a soft roller left side on the charge. Galucci slings to first, but wide of the bag. Frost, though, will throw as the runner never stopped. France is caught up. It's a rundown. This will be a test for the Delaware defense. Still in a rundown. Hess drops the ball, and now let's see what happens. It's going to be safe all around. A pickle, and it tastes a little sour for Delaware here in this opening frame. The only good news about that not being out, it was going to be an awful tough task for Michael on the official scoring there to try to give us how exactly that one went down. But now it's just a runner at first and second. Jen Steele out to the circle to talk to her entire infield there. That's a tough one because, quite frankly, Delaware actually executed that pretty well for a long time. You have to give credit to Franz for keeping the rundown alive as long as she did. Wagner ran to second base, and that actually provided a bit of a problem, it would appear, for Villanova when Hess dropped the ball. Problem was the rundown had gone so long, nobody had rotated over to first base, and that allowed Wagner to hit on the brakes, head back, and Franz was able to get to second safely. So it's an error on the infielder on the wide throw to first. And 2 on with 2 outs for Maddie Burns, who lines it the other way to right field. That's going to get down and by Thomas and roll all the way to the fence. 2 runs are going to come around to score. Digging for third base, Burns. Relay is late. And it's a 2-run triple as Villanova on the board first. They lead it in the opening inning. An active opening frame, and the defensive miscue proves costly for Delaware. So Kelsey White now the batter. Checks her swing but goes too far. It's a strike, 0-1. That ball kind of ate up Thomas. She was caught in between. Didn't know whether she wanted to make a dive to try to catch it or play it on a hop. By the time she realized she was not going to be able to get there, she was going to be left to the turf gods, and they were not kind, as that one took a sharp bounce to her left and got to the fence. Nothing into to Kelsey White, who's one of the regular pitchers for this Villanova team. Actually prefers to play the outfield, though, and has turned into a pretty good hitter. 267 average on the year, and has driven in 22. Chance to pad that total. And a swing and a miss. Good bounce back from Hess. Gets a strikeout to end the inning. But not before Villanova jumps on the board. They score 2 runs. They do so on a critical error, plus a 2-out triple. We head to the bottom half of the first. Nova 2, Delaware coming to the plate here on Flo College.
Blue Hens fans, today's home run sponsor is Moon Services Inc. Fast, reliable heating and air conditioning. Moon Services for out-of-this-world service. MoonAirAce.com. Be sure to keep an eye out for those blue. _SB.
Roller coaster ride at the top half of the first. Villanova on top of Delaware 2-0. Here's a look at the Blue Hand lineup. Katie Shiver will lead off at second base. Chloe Blanche, the shortstop, batting second. Cindy Schaefer will DP and hit third. Mary Beth Cahalan does the catching, batting cleanup. Morgan Hess is the pitcher, hitting fifth. Riley Thomas in right field will bat sixth. Lily Shiver, left fielder, hits seventh. Soraya Galucci at third base bats eighth. And hitting ninth, it is the center fielder, Veronica Diamidi. That lineup will face Villanova right-hander and freshman in the circle today is Lexi Corbin, who misses for ball one. Corbin, the reigning Big East pitcher of the week, pitched twice last week and was phenomenal, holding both Drexel and DePaul off the board. She's high here, 2 balls and no strikes to Shiver. We'll see how long she goes. Again, it is a quick week for Villanova as they have the long road trip tomorrow and then 3 in a row in conference at Butler Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. But she wants the ball every day. She's got it here and a fly ball in the air, shallow left. The wind will not let that ball get out of the infield, and it is actually the shortstop, Franz, who makes the catch, 1 away. So as we said, everything in the air is going to be an adventure. I think that was what did Riley Thomas in on that 2-out triple in the first. She thought that ball was going to get to her, and the wind just knocking it down. Had some sink to it as well. And you combine those two things, it wasn't ideal for Delaware as Blanche steps up, tries to slap one, and does so foul out of play, third base side. Corbin making her 12th start of the season, an 8-7 record, 3.54 ERA. She has tossed 4 complete games. She had 5 innings in the non-conference contest against Drexel. 79 frames total, 92 hits allowed, 46 runs, 40 of them earned. 2-1 strikeout to walk ratio. As that's high, a ball and a strike to Blanche. 46 punch-outs, 23 free passes. It's a 276 batting average against for Corbin. Here's a roller towards short. Actually, a line drive, beg your pardon. I thought that one hit the ground initially, but it went straight in the air to Franz, who has a magnet on her in this opening inning. So a pop out to short and a line out to short, and there are 2 down. Apologies if sometimes we are a little hesitant. The sun is setting down the left field line, which is not a huge factor for those playing, but for us sitting in the press box, it is blinding right now. It'll be so for about the next 20 minutes. glare bouncing off the aluminum bleachers, and the Delaware dugout to boot is not helping, as it's 1 ball and no strikes to the Blue Hens' best bat, Sydney Schaefer. Schaefer had another good weekend, fouls one back and off the screen. She had 2 hits in the front end of the doubleheader on Saturday and came through with a clutch RBI extra base knock in the Sunday series finale victory as well. She's up to .390 average-wise, still leads the league with 13 homers, closing in on the program record, just 2 shy as it's 2 balls and a strike to Schaefer. She also has 9 doubles. The slugging percentage has dipped just under .800. First time she started a game under that mark in a little while, which is impressive considering how many extra base knocks she had this weekend. I'll tell you at the rate of which she is doing damage at the plate. These two offenses in many ways very similar. They get on base and then they have some big boppers in the middle that'll clean up the base paths. Here's a soft liner into left. That's a base hit for Schaefer. Sneaks one through the hole left side. And a first base runner for Delaware comes with 2 out in the first. It was 2 out magic that got Villanova on the board. And we'll see what Mary Beth Cahalan can do with 2 down. She has been an excellent 2 out hitter. Very clutch this season, especially the last 3-4 weeks for Delaware. Had a 2 out bases clearing hit in the conference contest against Elon a couple weeks ago. Here she beats one softly towards the circle that Corbin picks up, throws to first, gets it out, and it ends the inning. Hens get a hit, strand a runner after 1. Delaware trailing Villanova 2-0 on Flo College.
The 2025 schedule for your Delaware football team has been released.
Hello?
Hi, would you like to support the next generation of Blue Hens?
You know what? Let's do it. What is happening?
Oh, this? That's just that Blue Hen feeling. It happens whenever you give back to the Blue Hen community.
Wow, UD really goes all out.
I know, right?
Who's cleaning this up?
When it comes to your healthcare, you expect the best. Christiana Care is recognized as one of the world's best hospitals for excellence in quality and safety, outcomes, and patient satisfaction, and is one of the most trusted healthcare brands in the country. So when it comes to your healthcare, trust the best. Expert clinicians, innovative treatment options, compassionate caregivers. And at Christiana Care, we add in something special, love. It's at the heart of everything we do. We are here for you, for the love of your health. When it comes to your healthcare,
Let's go to the second inning. Let's also apologize to Villanova. Brooklyn Ostrowski, the 2-run triple in the opening frame, had the wrong number in the starting lineup. My apologies for the mistake, but give Villanova all the credit in the world. A big 2-out hit. Our weather report brought to you by Moon Air. For Out of This World service, visit moonairinc.com. And the weather, a big part of the story today. The wind sustained at right around 15 miles per hour, but they are calling for gusts as high as 25 to 30. Here's a check swing, pitch missing downstairs, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. So Ostrowski, that is no surprise to see her in the lineup and coming through. That's been the story for her throughout her career. The 5th-year senior who has been a mainstay of the lineup each of the last 2 years. There's a pop-up back of third base. Chloe Blance near the line underneath makes the catch, and Grace Reed is retired to start the second inning.
Second baseman Maddie Burrows.
So now Maddie Burrows will be the batter. 2 Maddies on this Villanova team. Burrows in the lineup today. Stands straight up right side against the right-hander Hess, who had to deal with that 2-out triple from Ostrowski as the pitch misses inside. 1 ball, no strikes. Burrows hitting at .271. 3 homers, has driven in 14. Outfield places straight up. Infield cheats a step towards the pull side. And the pitch misses wide. 2 balls and no strikes. Delaware team, they are also on the road this week, but they will stick with a regular schedule Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We'll play a little earlier on Friday as that is fouled back. and it is 2-1 to Burroughs. Hens will have afternoon contests, all 3 games this week down in Virginia. Fouled away, and it's 2-2 to Burroughs. Big weekend for the Hens, obviously the sweep, outscoring North Carolina A&T, run rule victories in all 3 of the contests. Did not allow a single score, and that really helped them as they look to keep climbing back up the CAA standings, as somehow Hess missed the outside corner, and it's 3-2. In fact, Delaware was able to draw even with Elon for second place in the CAA, and they hold the tiebreaker over the Phoenix thanks to winning 2 of 3 a few weekends ago. Payoff to Burroughs, fouled away, first base side. We'll do it again. Campbell still atop the conference. They're 15-3, 30-11 overall. And those 2 teams far and away the hottest in the CAA right now. Campbell's won 7 straight. Delaware has taken 6 in a row. Little punch shot back of second and hangs up for Riley Thomas, who's able to come forward and make the catch. 2 out. So a day where the wind is blowing hard in from left center field. A rare time where the ball hangs up. Gave Thomas time to come forward and get that one. 2 up, 2 down. And here comes Madison Ostrowski. Already saw their sister Brooklyn come through, giving Villanova the lead in that opening inning. Madison, the much more talkative of the siblings, rolls one softly to first, right at Gason Frost, steps on the bag, and that will end the top half of the second. So good bounce back frame from Morgan Hess after an inning and a half. It is Villanova up 2-0 here on Flo College.
It is our job to help all Delawareans find gainful employment, and we do that every day.
Delaware JobLink combines powerful algorithms with unmatched personalized service, matching qualified employees to the employers who need them.
It really does make the recruiting process easier.
Post your job opportunity for free. Our specialist and live chat can help you create the perfect post.
JobLink helped me find the job that I have now, and that's the job that I love.
The Delaware Department of Labor and JobLink, here to help.
It's there in his passion to teach and help his students create, and there in helping her students stay focused on a task and get it right. It's also in that moment when she accomplishes a goal she's been working on for weeks, or in that nudge of encouragement that motivates her to learn. Student success in Delaware Public Schools is built on these individual stories happening every day, and it's driven by teachers and education support professionals working together to give every student the attention they need to be successful in life.
Hey, if you're looking for those 30-mile-per-hour wind gusts, I think they're here right now, as that one being felt on top of the press box by our Hens All Access crew. Give them all the credit in the world for braving the conditions. Bringing you the pictures is Delaware back to work offensively, and Morgan Hess fouling the first pitch out of play, first base side, 0-1. They are saying that before the end of the night, winds could be up around 40 miles per hour, and tomorrow's going to stay like that most of the day. So it's going to be interesting in the area for a little while. Here's a pop-up, everything in the air might be trouble, but what a play, reaching out to get it there from Villanova. As that was Ostrowski able to bring it back right in front of the Wildcat dugout, and her fine evening continues. There's one down in the home half of the second. So Ostrowski has driven in both runs and now has herself a web gem as Riley Thomas swings through the first pitch from Corbin for strike one. Villanova team that for the first time in program history made the regionals last year. Lost a lot of key pieces from that group as it's found back off the screen, 0-2, and yet still played an uber challenging non-conference slate. That's one of the reasons why the overall record, it won't wow you at 22-17-1. But this is a better team than that would indicate. And they expect to do some damage come postseason time as the bottom falls out of that one, 1-2 to Thomas. These teams have played some great games over the years. Delaware able to get the win last season. They call this matchup on the football field the Battle of the Blue as it's fouled back and Thomas stays alive. A lot of the other programs, though, do not play. Women's basketball did square off this year. Don't see many matchups on the men's basketball side. Don't see much volleyball either as this one popped up. And again, it'll get out of play. That despite the fact that these two campuses just separated by about an hour drive up 95 and the Blue Room. Villanova, a member of the CAA in football, Big East in the rest of their sports. As Corbin asking for time there. Again, that wind gust continuing to be an issue for the players. Tears in the eyes are going to be a thing today as Thomas chases low and away. Good job to get a piece blocking and throwing down to convert the strikeout from the true freshman catcher, Micah. And there's two down in the second. First strikeout for Corbin. There's Lily Shivert. Shivert rolls it foul, third base side for strike one. The other thing these two programs have in common right now, they are in the midst of one of their best runs they've ever had. They were good programs in the past, but sustained success at levels we really have not seen. Villanova has always been a threat in the Big East. But to capture a crown 3 of the last 4 years, to work their way to a regional last season, just incredible stuff as that is fouled away. Meanwhile, Delaware just knocking at the door, trying to break through this season and finally capture that elusive CAA championship, but have lived at the top of the standings in the regular season for the last half decade now. Shivert behind the count, the 1-2, missing high. It is not supposed to rain tonight. We do have some darker looking clouds moving in out beyond the center field fence, which isn't great as that's fouled back because that's the way the wind would be moving any clouds. But as Damien put up on that Moon Air weather report, the odds are low. If anybody can jinx it, it's our own Damian Holiday, though. Bounces up there. Good layoff from Shivert. And she has worked the count full. Lily Shivert has the average now at 263. Played one of the 3 games this weekend. Remember, Shivert had played 12 of her previous 14 CAA contests. It looked like she had kind of won the job and left, but she chases up the ladder here. Strikeout victim, back-to-back case for Corbin, who works a 1-2-3. Second, we head to the third, 2-0. Villanova leads on Flo College. Back at the Delaware Diamond, third inning. Delaware trailing 2-0. This is the 74th all-time meeting between these two programs and the 40th time they have squared off in Newark. As we mentioned last frame, it is called the Battle of the Blue in football. But it has been an annual affair here in softball as that one in for a strike to Ava Mankin. Leadoff hitter grounded out to second her first time up. Morgan Hess has yielded just 2 unearned runs. Came on a weird play in the opening inning. An errant throw and then a botched rundown, extending the frame and allowing Brooklyn Ostrowski to come through with a 2-run, 2-out triple. 2 strikes to Mankin. Hens were able to get a victory when these teams squared off on the main line last year. 2 seasons ago, they played a pair of extra innings contests as it's a ball and 2 strikes to the Nova catcher. Delaware ended up on the short end of both of those contests, which went deep, 9 and 11 innings respectively. Here's a fly ball hit well, but way out in front was Mankin, and it's still 1-2. That's an example of the quick hand she has. One of the reasons why Villanova coach is so high on her future. Replacing a program legend in Allie Jones. Tall task, but she has handled it pretty well. Out in front that time as Hess pulled the string on the changeup and gets her second strikeout. 1 away here in the third. And it'll bring up Miranda Runco. Runco was behind in the count and then had a changeup go off her back as it slipped out of the hands of Hess. Hits one sharply but foul out in front for a strike, 0-1. Runco might get a little time in the circle today. She is the 4th pitcher on the staff for Villanova. They have had 6 players work in the circle so far this season. Runco was an incredible hitter and pitcher during her high school careers. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. In fact, kind of hard pressed to figure out what area she was better. Was named the Pennsylvania High School State Player of the Year in 2021. And was the top-ranked recruit in the class of 2023, as it's 2 balls and a strike to her. All she did was compile a career 1.11 ERA in 415 innings pitched, 637 strikeouts as it comes high and tight. That's pretty good. You'd say, how could she have possibly been an offensive player anywhere near that? Well, hold on. How about a 671 batting average during her high school career? That's how you win Player of the Year as a sophomore. In a pretty good state as this one lined over second into right center for a base hit. Swings like that from Miranda Runco. 1-out single. 2nd hit of the day for Villanova. And the 2nd time on base for Runco. Bring up Ava Franz. Franz into a fielder's choice. A roller sharply to short her first time up. Franz has some pop even with the wind whipping in. Iamidi still playing pretty deep in center. And Thomas really deep the opposite way and right. Here's a liner into left. That is going to get down for a base hit. Little bloop job for Franz. And Villanova has back-to-back base hits. 2 on with only 1 out here in this top half of the 3rd inning. So now Elena Wagner will be the batter. Wagner reached on that unorthodox play in the opening frame. Hit a ground ball left side. Errant throw across the diamond allowed her to reach as the pitch in for a strike. But Runco, thinking the inning would end, just kind of put her head down and was running hard. Never stopped. Was going to go first to third. Problem was when the errant throw came, Grayson Frost looked across and her toss beat Runco to third base by about 15 strides. Here's a soft roller to third. Stepping on the bag, Galucci throwing across. And Frost is able to hold the bag flag according to Wayne Elliott on the stretch. Boy, it sure seemed like she came off, and yeah, they're going to overrule it. Home plate umpire there to help, and the inning will continue. That was pretty clear as Frost playing out there at first base and still waiting on word with the injury to Gianna Castaro that she suffered over the weekend against North Carolina A&T. But Frost pressed into action and unfortunately not really anywhere to hide when you're at first base, so can't ease her way in. And we'll continue to wait on word about Castaro and keep you updated as we learn here moving forward. Here's Wagner taking a strike, 0-1. I beg your pardon, Ostrowski, the batter, 0-1 with 2 outs and a runner at first and second situation. We're in the third. A frame that looked like it had already ended. And the last time Ostrowski came up in that situation, she made the most of her opportunity. Roped a 2-run triple. Here she takes downstairs, and it's 1-1. Kid that bided her time, waited her opportunity, worked through a major knee injury her sophomore season. Split time at first base last year and has now been a mainstay for the Wildcats. Fisted pop towards shortstop. Lance took a step forward, but able to go back, make the catch, and that will end the inning. So an eventful top half of the third, but a goose egg in the run column. Wildcats stranded pair. We head bottom 3, 2-0. Villanova leads on Flo College. Kind of a roller coaster ride in the first 2.5 innings. Villanova leading 2-0 as we go bottom 3. Sorella Galucci will be the batter. Galucci, Diamini, and Shiver due up for Delaware against Villanova right-hander Lexi Corbin, who fires a strike, 0-1. Corbin's done a good job working ahead in the count. As we mentioned, she does not walk many batters. Only 23 free passes issued on the season. Big kid, 5 feet 11 inches tall. As a pop-up, foul ground, third base side, and that one will get out of play. You hear it bounce the aluminum bleachers. We had great crowds this weekend at the Delaware Diamond here Tuesday evening with 20-mile-per-hour winds. Not as big a crowd, understandably so, even with Villanova right up the road on the main line. It feels much colder than it actually is, as it's 1 ball and 2 strikes now to Galucci. Sorella hitting at .258, the true freshman making her 24th start of the season. 7 extra base hits, including 5 doubles, has 8 ribbies on the year. Trying to set the tone for Delaware in this third, as that one bounced off the front of the plate, came up and caught her in the box. That ball hit the dirt and hits her. She gets her base. When it hits the plate, I'm not sure. Neither are the umpires. I don't think I've ever seen that before, where the ball hits off of home and then hits the batter. Did it hit her or her bat is the other question, as well as it was near her hands. The bingo card has been completely filled out so far. That's a hit batter as Galucci reaches to start the bottom half of the third inning. If you've got a weird play that you can think of, send it our way via social media. I'm sure we'll find a way to see it happen over the course of the game. Villanova coaching staff looking for an explanation. Odd play. Looked like from where we are, it hit the front of the plate and bounced up and caught Gallucci. But we have a bit of an obstructed view from our standpoint with the home plate umpire standing there and a catcher in the spot as well. So runner at first, Diamini the batter, see if she bunts. She stabs at it and fouls it into the glove of Mankin for a strike. Delaware down just 2 runs, still early, 3rd inning. Top of the order waiting in the wings. Good spot to try to play small ball here if you're the Hens. Instead, Diamini proving I know nothing, swinging away and fouling it back. Thought maybe we had some raindrops coming in for a moment. Not sure if it was that or just residue blowing off the press box here as a check swing goes the other way and gets fouled. When we look out beyond center field, it's either the lowest, thickest clouds or that is rain out in the distance. Upstairs, 1 ball, 2 strikes to Diamini. It was not supposed to rain again today, but it also wasn't supposed to pick up this much wind-wise. Little punch shot left side, base hit. Diamini able to slap one through into left, and Delaware's got 2 on with nobody out to start the home half of the 3rd. So you get a break, got to take advantage, and that's what Delaware's trying to do now. Flip back to the top of the order, and Katie Shiver. Delaware offense has done a good job at the bottom of the order the last couple weeks. Shiver could have bunt one. It's a good bunt. First base side, she beats it out. Throw gets away, and a run's going to come home. And the Hens are on the board. It's 2-1. A bunt base hit for Katie Shivert and an errant throw allowing Gallucci to circle around. So Diamini also moves up to 3rd on the play. And the Delaware threat continues. 2 on, nobody out. Here's Chloe Blanche. Blanche takes slow it outside, ball 1. We'll see how the freshman Corbin deals with this odd adversity. We had 1 ball leave the infield. It was a slap single off the bat of Diamini. Didn't go more than 100 feet. Blanche slaps it past 3rd into left field for a base hit. Diamini comes home to score. RBI single, Chloe Blanche. And this is a tie game here in the 3rd inning. So talk about manufacturing some runs. That's exactly what Delaware has been able to do. And now, with 2 on, nobody out, Delaware's best hitter coming plateward, Sydney Schaefer, and that sends the Villanova coaching staff out for a talk with the freshman pitcher, Lexi Corbin. We mentioned her size. She's the reigning Big East pitcher of the week after an .091 batting average against in the 2 wins against Drexel and DePaul. She is deep into this freshman year. And Bridget Orchard, when we talked to her earlier today, said, I don't even really consider her to be one of the freshmen anymore. And the way she said it, it didn't sound like cliche. Has to deal with Schaefer here, who fouls it back and out of play. In fact, she alluded to her other 2 rookie pitchers, and she said, non-conference games normally where you like to see the freshmen get a chance to pitch, but Delaware's offense probably just a little too talented to let them go right now. And it's 1 ball, 1 strike to Schaefer. So tells you that Colburn in a completely different category. Swing and a miss out in front, Schaefer. And that's one of the reasons why Coburn kind of has that different look. Able to mix speeds, had Schaefer way out in front, and it's 1-2. Don't see Schaefer get fooled that often like that. She lines one foul, still out in front, but able to get a piece. Great speed on the base pass for Delaware. Shivert at second, Blance at first as a pop-up goes into foul ground. First base side, long chase, and quickly out of real estate was the second baseman Burrows. So nice battle here from Schaefer, and that one will go to the backstop off the edge of the glove of Mankin, and it allows both runners to move up. Shivert to third, Blance to second, and a level count to Schaefer at 2-2. And again, out in front, but able to get a piece and stay alive. And this, one of the big differences from Sydney Schaefer this season to Sydney Schaefer a year ago, when she also had great numbers, but you could get her out if you mixed your speeds or changed her eye level effectively. And really, Coburn's been able to do both in this at-bat, and Schaefer just keeps battling and giving herself another opportunity. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Schaefer. Base open here, but nobody out of the inning. Mary Beth Cahalan waits on deck for Delaware. Hens have scored 2 already in the frame and have tied this contest in the third. Ball 4. What a walk work from Sydney Schaefer. So first of the game, doled out by the rookie. And they're loaded for Mary Beth Cahalan. And Cahalan takes high as all of a sudden the right-hander having a hard time finding the zone. Two balls, no strikes. Coburn had a big start early this season, which obviously also was early in her career against Clemson, that kind of buoyed her confidence. 3-0 to Cahalan. There is right-handed activity going in the Villanova pen. Well, she was able to carry that confidence over to the midpoint of this rookie season. And it's been a different pitcher second half, but she forces in a run as Cahalan draws the walk. Back-to-back free passes, and Delaware has its first lead of the night. It's 3-2, and they still have the bases loaded with nobody out in this third inning. A strange frame it has been. Infield comes in for a conference with the freshman pitcher. Kat Gallant is up, loosening in the bullpen for Villanova. Here's Morgan Hess, pops it foul out of play, trying to help her own cause after yielding 2 unearned runs in the first. Has bounced back with goose eggs in the second and the third. And now her offense, as it is wont to do this season, has picked up the pace. Hess fouling it off, standing front side of the box, couple late cuts, and quickly down to the count, 0-2. Nice bounce back here from the righty. Hillsborough, New Jersey native. 3-time first-team All-State selection at the Hun School of Princeton. Fouled away again. Still no balls and 2 strikes to Morgan Hess. Grounder up the middle, base hit into center field. A run will score. They'll go station to station, but Delaware pads the lead. It's 4-2 thanks to the RBI single from Morgan Hess.
Now batting, right fielder Riley Thomas.
And if this does not sum up the Delaware offense in a nutshell, opportunistic and balanced, and it is paying off here in this third frame as Riley Thomas fouls one back and out of play at her first career home run. And it was one to remember, set the program all-time record for home runs in a single season on Saturday against North Carolina A&T. A no-doubter shot to left center. Here hits one into shallow left. That one going to hold up, making the catch, and it's not deep enough to tag, as Schaefer will stay at third. Only the first out in the inning, and that was the 8th batter of the frame. Now not wanting to mess with the arm of White, and with Schaefer at third base, does everything well, but not blessed with the fleetest of foot. Here's Lily Shivert rolling one, foul third base side. It hung the chalk for a long time, but finally he's just far enough to the left. That's a good break for Delaware. Shivert was a little slow getting out of the box, and Reed would have fielded that one pretty much on the back. So a strike to Shivert. 1-1 now to Lily. We asked why Shivert's playing time had increased here the last month. A pop-up infield fly, if it stays fair, will be in effect. It is, and it is caught by Reed right in front of home plate. So the strangeness of this inning continues. Delaware put 4 on the board, had the bases loaded with nobody out, despite not hitting a ton of balls hard. But feels like they had a chance to blow this one open, and they weren't able to do it. Now they have 2 out in the sacks full for Sorella Gallucci, who takes outside. She got it all started with the honest of plays this frame. Standing in the box, saw the ball hit either right in front of the plate or the front side of the dish and ricochet off her body. And after a conference, she was awarded first base. She takes low, and it's 2 balls and no strikes to the third baseman. She wasn't sure herself, just kind of stood there. Delaware coaching staff asked for the umpires to conference. They did, and it worked out. Here's a fly ball in the air, left field, down the line, twisting, and the wind blows that one all the way into the bullpen. I swear that started near the foul line when it left the bat of Gallucci. So 2-1 the count to Sorella. Veronica Diamini waits on deck for Delaware. And a ground ball up the middle. It's a base hit as it sneaks past France into center field. 2 runs come around to score. Racing for third base and over sliding the bag is Hess. And that'll end the inning, but not before Delaware puts the punctuation mark on a 6-run frame. And they take the lead. 6-2, Delaware leads as we head to the 4th here on Flo College.
I'm home. Wow, it's hot in here.
Grandma says call the Moon Man.
Moon Man, the AC is out and my family is melted.
At your service. There you go. Mission accomplished.
Thanks, Moon Man.
The house is nice and cool again. Moon Man, you're awesome. You're welcome. Just go to moonair8.com. For out of this world service.
We head to the top half of the fourth inning on what has been an odd evening, to say the least. A blustery day. Sun is setting. It has been in and out of the overcast skies. And Delaware able to post a big inning in the third and take a 6-2 lead as White leads off. It takes a strike from Morgan Hess, 0-1. Kelsey White, strikeout victim, her first time up, one of 2 Ks today for Hess. Hess's 2 runs allowed were both unearned in the first, and the bottom falls out of that one. Nice pitch from Hess as White swings over the top, and it is 0-2. One ball and 2 strikes to White. Swing and a miss, struck her out. Went off speed and chased the timing just enough to get the third punch out of the game for Morgan Hess. One down brings up Grace Reed, who popped out her first time at the plate. Oh, and outside, Hess. We mentioned the overall numbers, how they just keep improving. Most players would sign up for those numbers coming into the season and wouldn't even give it a second thought. And yet, if you've watched Morgan pitch this time, as she finds the inside corner for a strike, it is, in some occasions, felt like she's scuffling out there, or hasn't looked as good as she has in seasons past. As this one line foul, the third base umpire Bob Center hitting the deck. As that one was coming right at him, a heat-seeking missile. One ball and 2 strikes, the count here to Reed. Off speed, just missed. Boy, the entire Delaware infield wanted that one. Grayson Frost jumping up and down at first base. Chloe Blanche nodding her head as if to say perfect pitch to Morgan Hess. Delaware thought they got that one. But Reed has new life at 2-2. Liner up the middle. Gonna have just enough to get into shallow center for a base hit. So Grace Reed takes advantage. She knew the zone, laid off the tight pitch, and the 1-out single. See if Villanova can have a quick bounce back after they allowed the 6th spot in the bottom half of the third. Maddie Burrows will be the batter. She flat out to right her first time. Just missed. 1-0. And that one does find the zone. A ball and a strike here to Burrows. So Frost off the bag at first, pinching in case of a potential bunt. As that one beaten foul, third base side. Frost, remember, came to Delaware primarily as a pitcher, was an all-conference pitcher as a rookie, and had some struggles, find her. But has settled in nicely to the role as defensive replacement pinch runner so far this season. Now the injury to Costaro, she's been called on at first base as it's 2 balls and 2 strikes to Burrows. The Hens, who have been interchanging bodies at third and in left field most of the season. The depth continues to be tested. The 2-2 roller left side deep in the hole. Blanche does a good job to get in front, but the throw goes off the glove of Shiver. Ricochets into right center. She chases it down. Reed will stay at second base. Burrows aboard at first. And there are 2 on with 1 down here in this top half of the 4th inning. Boy, Chloe Blanche, that was such a tough play, ranging laterally as she does so well, and she really made the tough part. That's a throw. I think Katie Shiver will tell you normally she will catch, and they will give an error to Delaware. So now the younger Ostrowski takes strike 1. Rolled it to first, her first time. And is behind to the count, 0-2. Has earned her way into the starting lineup. Second half of the season really has taken over the outfield spots for this Wildcat team. Coaching staff talking about their kind of take charge attitude. 1 and 2. And how Villanova needs that, because it is a quieter bunch this year. Really good kids, but not all that vocal. At least not as vocal as they have seen from Wildcat teams in the past. Ostrowski, one of the most vocal kids, swings and foul tips. Just got a piece as it bounced off the tip of the foot of Cahala. So still a ball and 2 strikes to the center fielder with Ava Mankin waiting on deck, the Villanova catcher. We're in the 4th, 6-2. The Delaware lead, but 2 on and only 1 out for the Wildcats. They will snap throw behind the runner at second. Reed able to get back. 2 and 2 to Ostrowski. Out away. Good battle here from Madison. Her sister Brooklyn is kind of the team mom, the only 5th-year senior after Villanova has had a handful each of the last few years thanks to the extra season of eligibility from the COVID year. And she's had to put so much on her shoulders. There's a soft roller foul behind the plate. And that was after dealing with all the adversity of the injury earlier in her season. And talking to Wildcats coaching staff, they said having Madison on the team has been great for what she has been able to bring to the table as a player, but also to be there as a support system for her sister. As this one rolled right side through the hole for a base hit. Riley Thomas on the charge. They'll hold the runner Reed at third, but Nova's in business. Bases loaded, only 1 out, and a tying run will come to the plate here, the top half of the 4th inning. And get a runner here for Villanova as Ostrowski, I'm not sure if she twisted her ankle or what happened there. She is kind of flexing that left foot after she made it through the bag at first base. She's going to test it now. The coaching staff checking on her. Villanova dugout was all over it, immediately signaling out to the coaches, but Ostrowski says she's fine to stay in there. Wildcat coaches were pretty honest, too, coming into this contest. They want to win every game, but they need to win this weekend. This non-conference game. Want to go out there and get one, but their biggest priority coming out of here healthy. Here's Mankin. And a fisted pop in front of the plate. Cahalan able to make the catch. And that is a huge second out in the 4th frame. Not even sure that one was high enough to get infield fly status. Didn't see any of the umpires signal it, but Cahalan wasn't taking any chances. So now Miranda Runco will be the batter. Jen Steele out of the Delaware dugout. Runco was hit by a pitch first time and then got herself a single last time. Looks like they're going to take Grayson Frost out. A night where we have seen a little bit of everything. Villanova going on the board, 2-0 in the opening frame. A pair of unearned runs after Delaware executed a rundown for what felt like a long time but couldn't convert it. And it's going to be Billy Kerwood coming into the game here for Delaware. Morgan Hess will shift to the outfield. Jen Steele double checking on everything here, making sure everyone headed to the right spot. Frost already has come off the field as she went to the dugout from first base. Ellie Talley has a glove in her hand. Maybe Talley will go out there to third, and they might move Gallucci over to the other side of the infield. We'll take a break, try to figure it out, tell you about the new pitcher when we come back on Flo College. All right, it will be Gallucci shifting sides from third to first base for Delaware. Coming in at third base for the Blue Hens will be Ellie Talley. And Billy Kerwood into the contest in the circle. The Delaware ace on her way to CAA Pitcher of the Year, potentially. Won Conference Pitcher of the Week for the fourth time this season, thanks to her efforts over the weekend against A&T. She gets strike one against Runco and gets a swing and a miss and jumps in front of the DP, 0-2. Morgan Hess is in right field now for Delaware. And it's low and outside, ball one to Runco. So probably the most complicated set of moves we have seen this season from Jen Steele, who's got, from time to time, a bit of a complicated card. She is not afraid to make some multifaceted moves. A swing and a miss as Runco gets chasing, and it doesn't matter who's playing defense when Billy Kerwood can do that. And after all that, Delaware able to post a goose egg as Villanova leaves some base runners. We head to the last of the fifth, 6-2. Delaware on top.
Come test drive at Anchor Buick GMC.
Welcome back, Delaware Diamond. What a job by the combination of Morgan Hess and Billy Kerwood. Kerwood coming up against one of Villanova's best hitters, getting a strikeout to strand a couple and keep the lead at 4 runs for Delaware. Veronica Diamidi will be the batter to lead off the inning for Delaware. She will face a new pitcher for Villanova, as into the contest comes Kat Galat, who fires a strike to Diamidi, 0-1. Galat, almost like some side work here today. She misses upstairs, 1-1. Villanova was actually hoping to potentially not have to use her, but if they did, coaching staff saying probably an inning, 2 at the absolute most, with a trip coming ahead this weekend out to Indiana. Check swing, nice job to poke one, but just wide of the chalk third base side from Diamidi. We saw her slap her way on with a single last time, tried to do the same past the reach of Reed at third base. Just could not quite keep it within the chalk. Diamidi getting better and better as a slapper. We have seen it. With her speed, she checks her swing, and the pitch kind of loops, came down late. A late appeal and no go, says the third base umpire, Bob Center. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to Diamidi. Swing and a miss and a strikeout. Galan comes on and gets one to start her outing, 1 away. Back to the top of the order, it'll be Katie Shiver. Delaware's 6-run third inning came courtesy of bottom portion of the lineup. As we are in the bottom half of the 4th inning, I beg your pardon, as a swing and a miss, 0-1. One ball, 1 strike to the second baseman. Laid down a bunt single her last time, popped out to short her first time at the plate. Shadows now have covered the entire infield here at the Delaware Diamond. And it's 2-1 to Shiver. Galat, junior from Monroe, Connecticut, stands 5 feet 10 inches tall. Here's a liner towards the gap left center, but racing over and reaching out to make the catch is White. Nicely done from the left fielder, and there's 2 down in the 4th. There is a gate open down in the Villanova bullpen that the umpires wanted them to take care of. Holy smokes. A loosening Wildcat in that bullpen as they tried to throw the ball back to her. It missed her glove, went all the way over the fence, and just bounced off a parked car. That'll be bad news for somebody later tonight as Chloe Bance comes to the plate, fouls it off, third base side, strike 1. Fortunately, wasn't my minivan. That kind of evening at the ballpark here in Delaware. Glance again, poking one the other way. Nice job on the run, reaching out to get it Franz as she snow cones it on the run, and that will end the inning. 1-2-3 frame turned in from Galat. We head to the 5th. 6-2 Delaware leads here on Flo College. We go to the 5th inning. Meanwhile, Delaware has conference series coming up this weekend. They will celebrate the holiday at Hampton. 12 noon start on Friday, 2 p.m. on Friday, and 2 p.m. on Saturday as well. So a doubleheader on Friday afternoon, followed by a Saturday contest, as then they will come home for a non-conference game against Coppin State, and then another non-conference game against Maryland. No balls and 1 strike, 2 Franz to start this top half of the 5th inning. And here's a soft roller left side. Blond's able to get that one. Fires to first, and a good dig by Galucci. So Sorella over there at first, able to give a little help to the shortstop. Plays it nicely off the turf, and that's 1 down in the top half of the 5th frame. So Franz retired, and it brings up Elena Wagner. Wagner taking 4 strike, 0-1. Billy Kerwood getting the call here. Give you an indication. Jen Steele wants this one as that's in for a strike. 0-2. You know, Kerwood, we talked to her last week about does she ever get fatigued? And she said, put in so much work in the offseason. I really feel like total innings is overrated. Soft roller left side, gobbled up at third base by Talley, and she throws across the diamond. Quickly 2 up and 2 down. So defensive substitutions that work nicely for Delaware. And Kerwood doing her job. 2 away, top 5. Bring up Brooklyn Ostrowski. Ostrowski, the biggest hit of the game so far for Villanova. 2-run triple in the first. And swings through first pitch for a strike, 0-1. Kerwood said the biggest adjustment to working all these innings has come in conference play when you're facing batters as many at-bats as she has been as that misses low and inside. But the fatigue or any type of cumulative effect, she said she's done a lot of this before at Monmouth and has never felt it and is not feeling it at all so far this year. Wave and a miss as she goes to that changeup, which is her bread and butter. Keeping hitters at bay. Changing timing is effectively, as we have seen in the Delaware circle. Roller foul, third base side. So many swings out in front. And even when you make good contact, just tough to square it up against her. Now, one of the things that makes the changeup so good, she doesn't change the grip. So very hard to pick it up before the pitch comes home. Two balls and 2 strikes to Ostrowski. Try to extend this 5th frame with Kelsey White waiting on deck for Nova. Hey, that wind has disappeared. Pretty much dead calm for the first time in hours here at Delaware. Swing and a miss. Struck her out to end the inning. So Kerwood gets her second strikeout since entering and works a 1-2-3 frame in her first full inning. We head to the last of the 5th, 6-2. Blue Hens lead on Flo College.
Do you know what a blue hen is? It's prideful, spirited, fiery. A blue hen never backs down from a challenge. And we're there to support them. Delaware Orthopedic Specialist, the official orthopedic partner of University of Delaware Athletics.
Did you know Delaware has beautiful beaches, unique breweries, and outdoor fun for days? It's got a little something for the night owls and the adventurous types. There's plenty of fun for the entire family and no shortage of award-winning date night options. There's endless discoveries in Delaware, and if you play your cards right, you might even get to experience them for yourself. Plan your own adventure at visitdelaware.com.
Designated player, Sydney Schaefer.
Bottom half of the fifth frame, Cindy Schaefer to lead it off for Delaware. Heart of the order due up for the Hens, and Schaefer taking a strike, 0-1. Delaware softball trying to get a win over a Big East program today. Delaware baseball looking to pull off a victory against the Big Ten, as it's 0-2 to Schaefer. So far, so good. Up at State College, the Hens on top 5-1. Top half of the fifth inning against Penn State. It'll be Delaware baseball's second Big Ten win of the year. Beat Maryland earlier. Here's a poke shot into shallow center, and another base hit for Sidney Schaefer. So Schaefer's been on all 3 times today and has scored a run. Will look to add to Delaware's 4-run advantage. Mary Beth Cahalan will be the batter for the Hens. It's playing Maryland on the softball side coming up. Part of Jen Steele's goal to make sure she challenges this team in as many ways as possible during the regular season. As Cahalan takes a strike, Steele talking about how they have come so close and just have not been able to break through in the postseason. So her goal, non-conference play this year, was just not only play a tough schedule, but play a varying schedule. As Cahalan lifts this one foul, and it'll get out of play, first base side. She wanted to give her team as many different types of opponents as she could find. Good pitching, power hitting, like you see with this Villanova team, which kind of has a combo of the both. Contact team, slapping team, base running team. They've had them all on the schedule this year. As that's fouled back, Cahalan staying alive at 0-2. And while the non-conference games are never going to hold the same weight as conference tilts, especially when you get to this stage of the season, they are still a nice little litmus test as Cahalan rips it just wide of the bag at third. Home plate umpire immediately threw up the hands and deemed that one foul. 0-2 still to Cahalan. Gallant came on last inning for the Wildcats and worked a 1-2-3 frame. And a roller foul. Popped up. That's coming back our way. And going to head to the seats just to our left. Soft roller right side on the charge. Burrows will flip to the first. And that's one down, but it does move Schaefer into scoring position. So here's Morgan Hess, her first at-bat as an outfielder today. Remember, started the game in the circle and worked until there were 2 out in the 4th, taking upstairs for ball 1. Did not allow an earned run. Did depart with the bases loaded, but Billy Kerwood able to strand all 3. So the ERA will come down today for Hess, as that one just out of the zone 2-0. And the big thing for Delaware is we might get a runner here for the Blue Hens with 1 out runner at second base is Sidney Schaefer. Remember, she can depart and re-enter once. It'll be Grace Houseman who will run for Delaware.
Pitch running at second base for the Blue Hens, number 1, Grace Houseman.
But Delaware obviously has some work to do. Entering play tied for second in the CAA standings, holding the tiebreaker over Elon. But the schedule has really kind of broken their way down the stretch, as this is a fisted pop left side that Franz will take care of. Houseman has to stay put at second base. And now Riley Thomas will be the batter. Thomas, who started the game in right field, shifted over to left. And chases upstairs for a strike. Again chasing as she just can't quite hold back. That rise ball, good pitch from Galat. And it's 0-2. Blue Hens have Hampton coming up this weekend. Monmouth and Towson still in front in the CAA as that's high and outside. Good catch by Namkin out of the crouch to get it. Two balls and two strikes to Riley Thomas. In the air, center field, and deep. Ostrowski back, can't get it. Over her head, one ups off the fence. Thomas speeding past second, digging for third, gets there. A 2-out RBI triple, and Delaware's up 7-2. And that's why Thomas has earned her way into the lineup as she just continues to come through for Delaware. What an AB, buried 0-2 after chasing a couple pitches out of the zone. As that's fouled back, Ellie Talley, her first at-bat of the day. Almost a magnificent catch in center field. And instead, a hustle triple and a 5-run Delaware lead. Talley taking outside. 1 ball, 1 strike to the third baseman. Her first at-bat of the day. Remember, she entered at the same time Kerwood came into the game in the circle. And fouls it back, 1-2. It's put together a nice freshman season. 4 home runs, including one this weekend against A&T. And a walk-off in this park a month ago against Quinnipiac. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Talley. Talley, the best of the offensive options at third base. But can't catch up to that one. A strikeout victim ends the inning. But not before Delaware pads the lead thanks to the 2-out triple from Riley Thomas. We head to the 6th inning. 7-2 Delaware leads. We head to the 6th inning, and it is 7-2, Delaware leading Villanova. And Wildcats getting 2 runs in the first, but have not been able to score since. Had their best opportunity in the 4th, lowered the bases, but could not capitalize when Billy Kerwood came on and got a strikeout to get out of the jam unscathed. Now Delaware 6 outs away from a victory, and White leading off the inning, swinging through the first pitch for a strike, 0-1. It'll be Kelsey White, Grace Reed, and Maddie Burrows due up for the Wildcats. Kerwood did not miss by much, and it's 1-1. The good news for Kirkwood, even though she says the number of innings doesn't matter, is this one popped up back of short. Bland's backpedaling into the outfield, able to make the grab. White retired and one away. But Kirkwood, thanks to the run rule and the large leads over the weekend, actually had her least labor-intensive weekend of the season. She went 4 innings in the win on Saturday in the front end of the doubleheader as Reed comes up and takes a strike. And she took a no-hitter into the 5th inning against A&T. Delaware was up by 11, so the game was not going to go to a 6th inning. Jen Steele gave her a chance to come back out there. If she could get 3 outs, it would have been a no-no. And only the 19th in program history is it's 0-2 to Reed. But she gave up a leadoff hit. So she went 4 innings plus 1 batter, and then Jen Steele went out there, got her. So only 8 innings and 1 hitter faced over the course of the whole weekend. That is a low total for her. In the air the opposite way, right field has late stagger back, 2-handed catch, and that's out number 2 in this 6th inning. It's a tough sky right now. I mentioned the clouds that have been moving in and out. The good news is they did not bring any wet weather that we were slightly worried about for a little bit. Bad news is mixing with the clear sky out beyond the third base line. It's tough to kind of track the ball right now. And it's not dark enough where the lights have taken full effect yet. Here's Burrows looking at a strike, 0-1. That's in there for strike 2. Kirkwood against A&T in the game on Saturday jumped ahead of all but one batter she faced, either 0-2 or 1-2. And she gets a 3-pitch strikeout to end the top half of the 6th inning tonight. Beautifully done from Kirkwood, who has fanned 3. We head to the bottom half of the 6th inning. Delaware up 7-2 here on FloCom.
This is not just another E-Class, because it evolves with you.
It adapts to engineering.
It is the first E-Class made just for you.
For you.
This is not just design, because your E-Class, it adapts to you, it recognizes you, understands you, empowers you, energizes you, feels you. It evolves with you. The new E-Class.
Hey, grab me one too.
Bottom half of the 6th inning, Newark, Delaware, with the Delaware Diamond inside the Nelson Athletics Complex. Ends up 7-2 thanks to a 6-run, 3rd inning. And now Sorella Gallucci will bloop on into shallow left center for a base hit. And an offense which has awakened the last couple trips to the plate. Back in business to start the home half of the penultimate frame. Veronica Diamede will be the batter. It's kind of transformed things in the 4th inning. They went to a pitching change, but also a host of defensive switches. Diamede, though, still where she started in center and takes a strike, 0-1. Slapped herself a single first time, lays down a good bunt first base side, barehanded by Galan, and then running through the glove was Diamede. She'll go to second base, all the way around to third goes Gallucci, and there's 2 on with nobody out here in the bottom half of the 6th inning for Delaware. And right now you worry a little about Ostrowski, who says she's all right. That was awkward. She tried to reach towards the baseline. not the biggest of players, but that was a pretty big collision. Here's Katie Shivert. And Shivert lines it the other way towards the gap in right center, down for a base hit. It's played on a hop, a run will score, and Delaware's lead is 8-2, courtesy of the RBI single from Katie Shivert. All of a sudden, Delaware in position to maybe not have to play his 7th inning. Here's Chloe Blance. And Blance takes strike on the outside corner. And going halfway from first to second is Katie Shivert trying to draw the throw and get herself into a rundown. Villanova won't oblige. And all of a sudden, the clinching run is in scoring position. That was a big steal. I'm surprised Villanova just didn't get the out. Remember, a run rule is in effect. 8-run advantage would end this one. And a slapper the other way. Fair ball inside the bag at third, headed for left. A run comes home, and Delaware's up 9-2. And they have runners at second and third with nobody out. And now they're going to ask. I'm telling you, this has been the weirdest game of the season by a country mile today. Third time we have seen the umpires confer. That was close. And it is confirmed a fair ball. 9-2 Delaware leads, and a chance to end this one right now. Sydney Schaefer, who had been taken out for a pinch runner earlier, will return. And a chance to clinch it for the Hens. So a double for Blance. Shivert is at third. And Schaefer the batter. Schaefer's been on base all 3 times today, including a couple hits, and fouls it away for strike one. Fouled back and out of play. 0-2 to Schaefer. It has been such a tough out. Gallant called into action after the Delaware offense snowballed things in the middle stage of the game. 0-2 to Schaefer. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Does not need a hit to end this one. Outfield cheating in center and in right. They pinch in at the corners, but respecting Schaefer in left. Regular depth for White. And that's high. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Schaefer. Second time today we have seen her fall behind in the count and then lay off a close pitch and avoid chasing up the ladder. In the air, right center field, well hit, and Schaefer ends it in style with a 3-run blast. And Delaware wins it, the run rule in effect. 12-2 the final here tonight in Newark. 14th home run of the season for Schaefer. And Delaware gets to celebrate at home plate. What a way to finish it off for the Hens. 13th time that Delaware has won via the run rule this season. Let's take a look at our play of the game, brought to you by our friends at Delaware State Parks. It came in that 6-run third inning for Delaware as the Hens getting a big hit right in the midst of it as TMED coming through, and Delaware taking the lead they would not relinquish on their way to a run rule victory. Didn't look like it was headed that way early, but the 6-run third stemming the tide, and then the 5-run explosion in the home half of the 6th, and the Blue Hens do not even have to go the distance. That'll do it for us on a cold and blustery day in Newark. The home team warmed by the efforts of their bats. For our Hens All Access crew of Aaron Paniscotti, Daniel Chafin, Vivi O'Donnell, Becca Corcus, Rachel Whitehead, and Damian Holliday, I'm Matt Jennings. Thanks so much for being with us. Final score, Delaware 12, Villanova 2. Have a good night, everybody.